This is a video on logarithmic differentiation. The question is to find the derivative of y is equal to the square root of 2x cubed sine of x divided by 1 minus x to the fourth. If we were to just use the chain rule and the product rule and the quotient rule, this would be a nightmare. Instead, we'll be able to take logarithms and use the rules of logarithms to make this much simpler. So our first step is to realize we have a square root, and a square root is the same thing as a 1/2 power. And that way, when I take a logarithm, I can move the 1/2 over. So the next step is to take natural log of both sides. And I have a natural log of y is equal to the natural log of the right-hand side. Now that 1/2 power, which we got from the square root, can easily be moved over to the left-hand side of the natural log. Our next step is to use the rules of logs. When you have a natural log of a product and a quotient, what we can do is we can take the natural log of each of the factors on top and add them, and then we could take the natural log of the factor on the bottom and subtract it. And notice that when we have a power, it can be brought over, as we'll see in the next step. So we can see that we have the natural log of 2, the natural log of x cubed, the 3 got brought over, and we have 3 times the natural log of x. Then we have the natural log of sine of x, the natural log of 1 minus x quantity to the fourth. First thing, it's in the denominator, so it's a minus. Second, the 4 can be brought over to the left-hand side of the logarithm. So now that I have converted all of this to logarithms and simplified, I can take a derivative of both sides. So we start with the natural log of y. The derivative of that, we use the chain rule. The derivative of y is y prime, and the derivative of natural log of y is 1 over y. For the second part, the derivative of the natural log of 2 is 0. It goes away. The derivative of 3 natural log of x is just 3 times 1 over x, or 3 over x. The derivative of natural log of sine of x, I can use a chain rule. The derivative of the inside is the derivative of the sine of x, that's cosine x, divided by the derivative of the natural log, which is 1 over sine, and I get cosine x divided by sine of x. Then the derivative of the natural log of 1 minus x, I use the chain rule again. The derivative of 1 minus x is just negative 1, so this minus sign becomes a plus sign because of the negative 1, and there's my plus. And then we have a 1 over 1 minus x times 4, or 4 over 1 minus x. So now that I've taken my derivative, I can simplify. I'm going to start by multiplying the 1/2 through and multiplying by y. And what I get is y prime is equal to 3 over 2x plus cosine of x over 2 sine of x. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2, so I get 2 over 1 minus x. I multiplied left and right by y, so there's my y. My final step is to realize that y was 2 times x cubed sine of x over 1 minus x to the fourth to the 1/2 power, and I just substitute, and there's my final answer. And I'm done with the problem.